I lost a patient who was around my age, not on my shift, but we still lost him. And when I got to know about it, it was really frightening. And I had to deal with that fear that people people my age are dying of the virus. And I'm there in the middle of all that every day. And it was a bit frightening. My day doesn't work like your day probably because I work in shifts. We are shift workers, right? So because the department, the ICU is running for 24 hours straight. Emergency medicine, the department runs for 24 hours straight. We work in shifts because you need people to be manning up the department, right, throughout the day. So I work nights, I work evenings, I work morning. Right now, currently in the ICU, we had 4 shifts. So the first shift started at 8 a.m. in the morning till 2 p.m. The second shift started at 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the night. The third shift started from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the night. And then the final shift of the day was from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning. So let's say if my shift was in the morning, I would get up at around like, I don't know, 6:30, 6:45. I would, do my, uh, the regular thing. I would brush my teeth. I would go to the toilet. I would wash up. I would get ready. I would eat, and I would leave for the hospital around 7:30ish or probably earlier. Uh, and because it's just nearby, uh, I then I would get in. I would don PPE. It would take some time. It would take like, I don't know, anywhere from 20 minutes to 15 minutes to like 30 minutes. It depends on how meticulous and careful you are, and you have to be. And then there are doors, and you enter the ICU. And then in the ICU, in my hospital at least, we had all separate negative chambers, negative pressure rooms, where we would keep the patient, and then the common corridor. And we would go and check on each patient how they are doing, if they are doing better than yesterday's, if they are on ventilators, how are their pressures, and how are the ventilator settings, if they are a little better or worse, and then check their X-rays and all that stuff. And then there would be rounds. The senior consultants would come in. They would have a look. We would discuss what we thought. They would tell us what we can do, and we would give them suggestions, and then all that. And so it would take a long time. Like that would involve the whole day. There were few patients who were on ventilator. There were a few patients who were not on ventilator, but on other things which help them to breathe. Like if the machine is working against a lot of resistance, it would require a lot of pressure to pump that air in, and that air itself that pressure itself can cause damage to your lungs and would make you worse. So we needed to check on those parameters every day, in every shift, every hour, every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, depending upon the status of the patient. And we would check on those parameters, and we would make sure they were under control so that we don't do further damage. We try to keep them comfortable, keep them alive, and hope that their body can recover and mend itself. So we can remove that breathing tube out of them, and they can go back home. And we would try to keep ourselves busy because we were locked up inside, right? Uh, and sometimes there would be, since the family members would not be able to enter that area, they would call up a lot. They would want to see their, uh, the person who's in their family member who is admitted in the ICU. They would want to see them. They would want to talk to them. So we would sometimes arrange like a video call. We had like a mobile device which would be there at all times. So usually, what they want to know is how they are doing. What they want to know is if they will get better. sometimes we don't have that second answer. And sometimes if we have that answer, it's a disturbing answer. And we are told to not lie at times, and we try not to. So you talk to them, you tell them what are your expectations, if they are improving or not, if you think that they would improve or not. And sometimes they just want to see, right, how they are looking, how they are doing. So I would just randomly after a call click a picture and send them on WhatsApp. So all that was there, and it would usually consume most of our shift, and we tried to do that because otherwise there was nothing to do. Like we would just sit there ideally and our brain would get at work, and we were all worried of getting ourselves the virus. And so we tried to keep busy as much as possible. As soon as the next person enters, we just want to get away, but we can't. So we tell the next doctor about. The doctors give handover to the doctors. The nurses give handover to the nurses. We sort of move out. There's a separate door. We get out, and then there's a separate room for doffing. We slowly unwrap ourselves, one by one. We clean our hands every time we touch something, and it takes again some 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. And then once that is done, we come out. There is a toilet, there is a shower area. So we use the loo if we have to. We go take a shower, and we change into a new pair of scrubs. You can't really do anything in the PP. You can't drink, you can't pee, you can't eat. You need to doff, ideally take a shower, clean up, and then you can do all these things. So it would really not be feasible for us to be wasting PPEs like that when there was a deficiency. So we don and we stay in for 6 hours and we don't drink or eat or we don't do anything. I come back to the hotel, I take a shower again. So we are paranoid, right? I mean, we are, our paranoia is at the worst, like is at its peak right now. So I take a shower again, I wear a different set of clothes again, and then I eat something if I have to. And if I'm thirsty along the way, I drink a lot of water. And yeah, if I had a really bad day, I would watch something, I would just read something, I would listen to some music, I would sleep, something like that. And I stay in the room most of the time. I don't let anybody enter the room. I get my food tray outside. I tell them to keep it outside, and I take it in. I clean my hands and I remove everything I think would have been touched, and I clean my hands again and I eat. And I don't let people enter my room to clean it up as well, because if I am infected, I don't want to give that to somebody else, let alone a poor hotel worker. To be away from your family for so long, I haven't really been able to sleep in the same room as my wife since March. I haven't seen my family, anybody, since 20 days or so. I just, chat with them, video call, things like that. You sort of learn to live with things, right? I mean, life will get on. You have to learn to live with it because it's there and it's going to be there. I can't stop being a doctor. I never will. I just love my job too much to stop being a doctor. I will have to face it.